know if these will show up on camera or not. These little white things, something sheds. We've never seen these things before until this year. And we've gotten them in a few places, but never this bad. The boat is absolutely covered. They apparently molt and leave these little things behind, whatever it is, some kind of fly, I'm sure. Glad they're gone, but man, we have a mess. I just rinsed off the boat when I got here yesterday. Well, it is, I didn't look at my watch, never do. Thursday, July 10th, 2025, about 7:36 in the morning, or 7:37, as Michelle just said. And got a cruise ship right off the bow out here. And looks like possibly one of the footers out here. Anyway, another big ship, so 2 ships headed for, almost certainly for Gray's Reef Passage.
Yes.
And we are on our way to Beaver Island. More on that later. I'll remember to turn the radio off maybe. So once again, probably invisible on this, but the cruise ship is right out here. There's a sailboat going the same direction we are, right out here, and then the footer over here. So busy day in the Straits of Mackinac. You can see the bridge back there. Again, I'm not sure how well it'll show up on this. And that's probably about it, because we're going to have light and variable winds pretty much all the way to Beaver Island today. Feel a little, I shouldn't say bad about going to Beaver Island, but it seems like we're there all the time anymore.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah, and we talked about maybe going to Garden Island or something like that, but I don't feel like getting in there. We don't want to spend days there, and that's what we're going to end up doing, is probably spend at least 2 or 3 nights at anchor, waiting for a fair wind to get down the lake, which doesn't look like it's going to happen even in a few days. It's going to be late next week, before a whole week before we get anything that we could actually sail to. So anyway, I don't know what our strategy is. We always manage to do this. We get up at the north end of this lake and can't get back down without motoring for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And I'm frankly kind of sick of doing that, and to the point where I'm not sure I want to come up to the north end of Lake Michigan anymore. Because there aren't very many options when you get up here for anchoring or marinas. Not until you get down to Little Traverse Bay and south, you start having some opportunities for getting in somewhere, sailing across the lake, that sort of thing. So we kind of determined this year that short of coming up and spending a whole season up here, launching the boat in May, living on the boat all summer long, we're probably we're seeing as much as we can probably see. To really be able to explore the Great Lakes properly, we're going to have to start moving the boat. And by that I mean storing it in other locations. So we're staged for the next year to go further. Because even with 2 months, it's just not enough time, especially if you're trying to do any sailing, if you don't want to motor the whole time, to get very far. Anyway, again, boring day today, because all we're going to do is motor. I hope it's boring, since all we're going to do is motor. So there's probably not going to be much to film. Anything to add, hon? No. You look like you wanted to say something.
I was just going to say, you called it last night, and anyway.
Oh yeah, we had a rough ride last night. The winds were supposed to veer to the north originally about 5 o'clock in the evening. They moved that back to 8 o'clock. I don't know when and if they ever really did start blowing out of the north, and they weren't supposed to be strong winds. But we got the surge off the lake. I guess it died down pretty good by the time I went to bed, probably 9:30 or so, 10 o'clock, somewhere in that range. There was hardly any motion in the boat, but we were awakened about one. Yeah. Doors and stuff that we hadn't secured were starting to bang around, and so we were caught in the trough of the swell coming in, or the surge, or whatever it is we were in. and we did not get a good night's sleep after that. The rigging was making a bunch of noise, and so poor decision to anchor here. And we knew it. It's not well protected. I mean, conditions have got to be just right, and with the conditions out of the west, we were subject to that. The last time we were here, same deal. They were out of the west, but they were to shift to the east at night, which they did, and we had a good night's rest. This time, not so much.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Makes you appreciate the good days.
Yes. So I think that's that Viking cruise ship. That's that adventure ship or whatever. I think it's the same one we saw at Mackinac Island. Was that last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is all. Well, it's the Gray's Reef Light. Just what we needed. There was more pictures of that because we always get one. Perpetually covered with cormorants. Well, it doesn't seem like quite as many today, does it?
Maybe not. So much free water.
Yeah, there's a lot of them on there, but seems like it's kind of a solid line of them usually. They're shoulder to shoulder or wing to wing or whatever. There's Michi. Say hey, Michi.
Hey, Michi.
I don't remember the last thing I filmed. It is later in the day, Thursday, July 10th, 2025. We arrived here at St. James Harbor about noon 30. Got the anchor set, and until just a few minutes ago we were alone in the anchorage. This boat over here was having some trouble with the slips over there. I don't know if he's draws too much to get in or what the deal was there. I wasn't paying much attention, but they came out here and dropped the anchor. And we have been here enough now that I think we probably ought to get a mailing address here, because we seem to end up on Beaver Island all the time anymore. So anyway, gonna hang out here for at least a couple of days waiting for a favorable wind to get down the lake. It looks like it's going to take at least a week for that based on the current forecast, so we'll see how long we have to wait before we get fed up and motor further down the lake.